Well, I had to run the Target the other day, and I found Starlink Battle for Atlas for $29.99, and it was originally like $75. So I figured that's not a bad price. So I grabbed everything they had. I got the Hailstorm and Meteor Mark II weapon. Grabbed the Razor LeMay pilot. Eli Arborwood, the gunslinger. And then they had another ship there, the Pulse with Volcano and Chase Da Silva. And then you'll see on the back it has Chase's profile and some of the features. And then I also grabbed it for the Xbox because that was only like $19.99 for the starter pack. And I actually thought the ship looked pretty cool. And then, like I mentioned before, Starlink Battle for Atlas, I got that for $29.99 for the Switch. Mainly wanted the Switch one, but for $19.99 I thought it'd be cool to have it on a system that's easy to do some capture on. Overall, I never really knew anything about this system. I would see it in stores, I'd see sale prices on it and things like that. I told a couple of my friends right away, because like the Star Fox one here, I thought that was pretty cool, because right away one of the things I saw online when I was kind of looking up some stuff on it was some people said it was actually Star Fox redone correctly, and I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. And when I saw there was a Star Fox version for the Switch, sorry, that was pretty cool also. So I did a little bit more research on it, and it sounds like there's a pretty good community for it, and they're just going to stop doing the toys, but continue to do the game. And I decided, you know what, why not? I'll get it. They look pretty cool. It's just, plain out decoration. I kind of like that. Of course, I always do this. I don't know why. It's kind of gross. You got to taste test the chip. First of all, the pamphlet I took out, that was really nothing. I was just looking at it. But, yeah, if you haven't seen one of my other videos about a Switch the game or anything, they intentionally make these chips taste bad so kids don't put them in their mouth. So instead, a grown adult does instead, just to make sure they did that, actually. Inside the box came with a poster. It's pretty neat. I'm not going to hang it up. I'm really bad about doing that. I never do hang up my posters. But otherwise, it still has some pretty good artwork to it. It's dual-sided. But I'm going to end up just putting it back in the box. I'll save the box. You'll see on the one side, though, it does have all the gun combinations you can get and characters. It was one of the things that kind of interested me in it. Like I mentioned earlier, I liked Disney Infinity, and actually, as it got better up to 3.0, I thought that third-person style was actually really good. I was bummed to find out they ended it. In fact, I have every single Star Wars character. I want to say I might be missing one light effects one, but otherwise I have all the light effects ones, including the non-light effects versions and all of them. Most of them still boxed. But, yeah, here you'll see the Star Fox one with the Switch. This one, actually, I thought it was pretty cool. The figure is really neat looking. Like I said, I don't really know how any of this worked when I was opening it, but you can see there's a little like chip in the back. It was actually kind of a bear to get some of this out of here. I was worried I was going to break it at first. It turns out the wings actually spread open more. When I was taking it out, I thought I was going to break it. And then you got this weird base that you can tell right away snaps into it. And then I found that there's a reading port in front, which later you'll see that I figured out you can actually get the pilot to go inside. So besides Star Fox, or Fox McCloud, I should say, it also comes with Mason Rana, I believe it's Rana. It's actually a pretty good looking figure. And then also there's some weapons in here. There's the Frost Barrage and the Flamethrower. So at first I didn't really know what the sides were for. I just thought it was the base. I'd never seen this game before. I thought it was pretty cool the character slid in there, and I actually kind of thought that was for what it was for, even though it was a little weird it was so big. But then when I turned it over, you could tell it looked more like a controller handle. So at this point, I still didn't put two and two together, but I thought it was just like a little nod to a controller, which I thought was pretty neat. So here we have the Starlink Battle for Atlas on the Xbox One. And because it was only $19.99, that's why I got it. And to be honest with you, it's just easier to do video capture with my Xbox. But inside, it has the same poster as the Switch one did, so I'll just throw that back in the box. And the game's here. And of course, as much as I dislike it, these games aren't really a game. It's a big waste of CD to make your Xbox realize you bought a game. Yeah, so there's the CD. One weird thing is, it's all in backwards. I almost wanted to take the cover out and put it in the other way because it was just weird the way it was. I don't know. I'm just weird that way. But here it is, Starlink, and then here's the Switch version. Alright, so let's see how easy these come out. The Switch version was not that easy to come out at all. But this one here, now once again, I wasn't fully putting two and two together until I saw this one. And I was thinking in my mind, how does this control with the system? And then that's where I pulled out the other one and realized, oh, that is a handle. So in this one here, if you look closely, you'll see that it actually has a connector in there. And for a second, it looked like an HDMI one, but then I'm like, yeah, and why would you have a mini HDMI cord? And then I realized Xbox One, sure enough. I was pretty excited to open this, and 2 and 2 is just not working for me. The struggle is definitely real here. It was a pain to get that out, and I'm also worried about breaking it. It's, wasn't actually that expensive, but at the same time, I bought it because I liked how the toy looked and thought it would look cool on the shelf. One of the things I looked up was it specifically said you could play without having the toys, so I was okay with that. That was the reason I bought it. If it was going to be another Disney issue where, a lot of the services were down and stuff, I would not have bothered with it, even though I thought they were pretty neat looking. I am running out of room to put stuff as it is, but since you can play without the toys and they are planning on the game to continue, I figured why not. But yeah, you have the ship, and I believe, let's see, they call it the Zenith. The weapon there was the Frost Barrage. And then we got the Flamethrower. And then if we can get the other one out here, that is the Shredder. This is the same flamethrower as came with Fox's ship. So I haven't played the game, haven't read the instructions. Pretty much guessing you can just snap these on anywhere. I even double checked to see if really it made a difference or not if they could talk, but there are metal tabs in there, so I am guessing that they can talk through the metal tabs. And then it was at this point that I finally realized, oh wait, yeah, the character slides in and plugs into that spot, just like on the other one we had a spot. And then it snaps into the ship itself. Overall, I really like it. You can see the pilot inside the window. And there's the connector to the Xbox. And then you can adjust it. This red surface is actually my couch. And it's a bit soft. If I try to set down the ship as if it's a base, it wants to fall over. But when it's on a solid surface, it stands just fine. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of tippy right here. So now that I figured out you can put a piece inside, it's time to get Star Fox in there. So plug that in. And then basically just line it up with the hole and snap it down. Takes a little bit of getting it in there, but it is a tight, solid snap, so it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart at all. But you can see in the window there, Star Fox in there. And I know I keep calling him Star Fox. Fox McCloud is what I mean. So I picked this one up. This was actually marked way down also. It was probably about half off, only a little over $12. But this is the Pulse ship. And this comes with a Volcano and Chase De Silva. Let's see what we got for Chase De Silva here. Fearless racing prodigy whose boost of speed wins every time. Yeah, knowing how awesome I am at playing games, I don't foresee that being the case. But hey, I'll take it. After the fun job it was getting all this stuff out of the packaging, I finally had it out and could look at it. So this one only came with one weapon, the Volcano, and then it came with the pilot also. And I do have more weapons. You know, I have the Meteor on the right and the Hailstorm on the left. This box I'm not going to open up. But, you know, Hailstorm says, launch burst of freezing ice shots. Meteor, ram into enemies with a searing heat shield. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on a Frost Barrage, because I have an extra one. Because the Xbox ship came with 3 weapons, and that left me with an extra one. And then as you can see, the character actually pops in the bottom. And since I actually really just wanted to display these, that works out perfect. It was actually kind of a nice touch that you could either pop them in the bottom and it'll stand alone, or you could slide it into the handle and then still pop it in the bottom and use it that way. I actually really like how all of these look. I'll be placing them on my shelf. I am going to give them a shot, see how they go. Maybe later I'll do some capturing of how they look. But I'd have to say they're pretty neat. And then here you can see what they look like independently without having the controller grips on them, where if I would just place them all independently of each other. You'll notice the Fox's ship actually has its wings down. And here's a shot of the Switch controller. Finally, 2 and 2 finally kicked in. Luckily because of the Xbox controller there. But overall, I think they actually look good even off their stands. I almost likely display them on the stands. But here, let's start with the Switch. See how easy they slide in. And actually, they went in with no problem at all. Once I get this all together, I was really surprised with how comfortable they all turned out. The Xbox One controller was the one it took me a little bit because it just didn't seem right being on top the way it was, even though with the Switch you can see it's on top. But once I spun it around, plugged it in, and then the top actually flaps down over, and it even leaves the Xbox button exposed so you can still hit it. It wasn't too bad. It didn't get in the way. I mean, my fingers aren't crossing beyond their halves. So what I'll do is I'll pop off the character here and get them in there. And then pop the ship back over them. And then you can see that's how the control is. Surprisingly, does not throw the balance off. They're not heavy ships. And kind of liked it, actually. Here's the Star Fox game. This time it's correct, though, because I'm talking about the game. And also, fairly comfortable. No problems with it. One of the things I would like to try to do, and I'll probably do it in a later video, is I would like to take the AR wing from the Star Fox Switch game and try it on the Xbox One and just see what happens. See if maybe it unlocks it in that game or anything like that. Kind of like how some amiibos didn't belong to certain games, but it could unlock stuff. Like here's the Eli character. And then here's the extra weapons I talked about earlier. And then we have Razor LeMay. So that's all I picked up at the store. That's all they had. I would have actually bought more if they had more, but you can see them standing here. I think they look pretty good, actually. And once it's on a solid surface, you'll see that you can see right there that the Xbox holder actually does make a decent stand. You'll also see that I have the Fox wings up. But all in all, I really liked how they looked. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Share it. Show us that you're watching it. Otherwise, make a comment. And I am just trying different things out to see if anything catches. Thanks. Bye.